Allow me, if you will, to read out of the book of Revelation. Every now and then I come across something that seems rather timely or just gets my brain going. So, in the book of Revelation, chapter 11, we hear about the two witnesses. And I was at church today and something occurred to me about what we've seen in society lately. And I'm going to read, it says, Then I was given a measuring rod like a staff, and I was told, Come and measure the temple of God and the altar, and count those who are worshiping in it, but exclude the outer court of the temple. Do not measure it, for it has been handed over to the Gentiles, who will trample the holy city for 42 months. I will commission my two witnesses to prophesy for those 1260 days wearing sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two lampstands that stand before the Lord of the earth. If anyone wants to harm them, fire comes out of their mouths and devours their enemies. In this way, anyone wanting to harm them is sure to be slain. They have the power to close up the sky so that no rain can fall during the time of their prophesying. They also have the power to turn water into blood and to afflict the earth with any plague as often as they wish. When they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will wage war against them and conquer them and kill them. Their corpses will lie in the main street of the great city, which has the symbolic name Sodom and Egypt, where indeed their Lord was crucified. Those from every people, tribe, tongue, and nation will gaze on their corpses for 3.5 days, and they will not allow their corpses to be buried. The inhabitants of the earth will gloat over them and will be glad and exchange gifts, because these two prophets tormented the inhabitants of the earth. But after 3.5 days, a breath of life from God entered them, and when they stood on their feet, great fear fell on those who saw them. Then they heard a loud voice from heaven say to them, Come up here. So they went up to heaven in a cloud as their enemies looked on. At that moment, there was a great earthquake, and 1/10 of the city fell in ruins. 7,000 people were killed during the earthquake. The rest were terrified and gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe has passed, but the third is coming. So when I was originally thinking of this, I wasn't going to read the whole passage. I just kept thinking about the two witnesses. And what got me to do this video was these two witnesses, as we'd always read when we read the Bible, are good. They were preaching truth. They were standing on the street and just telling everyone the truth about God. But people didn't want to hear it. We've recently seen a truth speaker, Charlie Kirk. Again, I've said in previous videos that I watched his shorts and I love them. I just never watched his 3-hour podcast. I guess I didn't realize he had one. I wish I had. But nonetheless, we look at Charlie Kirk. We look at others. We look at truth speakers, someone who I profess to be not anywhere on the level that these guys are on in terms of people who know them. But I do wish to be known as a truth speaker as they were. But nonetheless, this isn't about me. Charlie Kirk spoke truth. He spoke it in love, but he spoke it clearly and directly. And if we could go with this Bible verse, he spoke it on the street corners. It said here that everyone could see them. It said, when they've finished their testimony, oh, goodness gracious. But anyone could see them. They'd walk past them and they'd be angry. Well, when they finished, so I got to hold off because God was the one that protected the two witnesses for as long as their mission needed to be. They were allowed to prophesy. And if anyone tried to go after them, fire would come from their mouths. They could shut everybody down. It's kind of like what Charlie did. Right? He didn't spit fire from his mouth, but he could shut people down by speaking the truth. But when he had finished his testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss waged war against him, conquered him, and killed him. That really touched me, but that's still not even the reason I wanted to do this, because I couldn't understand, even in end times, how people would literally exchange gifts. at the death of these guys. I could see them walking past their corpses and spitting on them. But they were so excited, they were exchanging gifts. And then we look at the wretched, evil, disgusting, vomitous responses of many people, evil people, who didn't want to hear the truth of the gospel. Let's be clear. This was a gospel he was teaching. They didn't want to hear it. So they killed him. And now they are celebrating. They are gloating. They are happy. Never before in my 60 years have I seen this. And people older than me that are saying they've never seen this before either. But it does get you to understand that when evil is allowed its free reign, it can be so nasty that they publicly exchange gifts. I would argue some people here probably exchange gifts. Let me go take you out for a latte and let's celebrate that this guy's gone. They will have to answer to God for that. But nonetheless, when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will wage war against them, conquer them, and kill them. Their corpses will lie in the main street of the great city, which has symbolic names, Sodom and Egypt, where indeed our Lord was crucified. Those from every people, tribe, tongue, and nation will gaze on their corpses for 3.5 days. We have been able, from whether it's Reddit or YouTube or Facebook or whatever, watch the shooting, and we can relive watching his corpse lay there and be carried to an ambulance. We can relive any of this from any part of the earth. And for those evil ones who wish, they can gloat. But after the 3.5 days, but after the appointed time, no matter what that time is God going to give us another 5 years, 10 years, 30 years? After the appointed time, a breath of life from God will enter again. These witnesses will stand up. These witnesses will be a sign of God because it's been prophesied. I just can't help but see the comparisons, like the prelude to what is going to happen in the book of Revelation, that we can see how we can start to see sheep and goats, haters, lovers, truth speakers, liars, those who choose God and those who choose Satan, those who choose heaven, those who choose hell. And it will be a mighty battle for sure. But like it says here, God will breathe breath back into them. They will stand on their feet. And when they do that, fear will befall those who witness it. We are watching. What we are watching is being a sign of the times. We are coming closer to the end, obviously. Every day is closer to the end. I know people can say that. Well, duh, you're closer today than you were yesterday. But in terms of eras, I've said before, we've gone from a Christian era to a post-Christian era, and we have now entered and are very solidly in the anti-Christic era. There are many people against Christ, and they're publicly saying so. So this is going to enliven in us, and it must, the mission of those of us that are not anti-Christic, but are fully in line with Christ and his gospel. And we will be martyred, and we will be slain. But if we speak truth, the rewards are going to be great in heaven. You have a responsibility to speak truth. There might be one person in this earth that needs to be born that you need to get to heaven. You're not going to die until that person's been born, grown, and you get them to heaven with something you say or do. We don't all know what our missions are clearly, but we do know that our job is to get people to heaven, every single one of us. We are not going to get them there by speaking lies. We will only get them there by speaking truth, even if they fight you on it. We plant the seeds. Someone else waters. God will cause the growth. Charlie Kirk is on everybody's brain. It is on mine as well. We watched him be slain. We watched people celebrate. And next we're going to watch him in the form of all of us. And then God rise up. And he will take over. And Satan will no longer have power. Be on the right side. Be on the side of truth. Be on the side of heaven. The alternative is unimaginable. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this Bacon Bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.